I am Carrie Cooper. I'm the Executive Director for the Tulsa Apartment Association. I just want to welcome all of you and congratulate you on your nomination for the Zenith Awards. You should take that as a really big honor because it is. All your companies typically have a process that they go through on deciding who they're going to nominate. So you are definitely should be very proud that your company chose to recognize you in that way. So congratulations on being a nomination, or a nominee, not a nomination. You are a nominee. And I also wanted to introduce you to the TAA office team here. Some of you may have seen Nicole out and about, but a lot of times she's behind the scenes. So there's Nicole.
Hello.
And then also we have a new TAA team member, Sharice Morris, just recently joined about, I guess I need to figure out exactly the days, but we're going in close to 2 weeks now. So Sharice, if you want to say hi.
Hello.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I think that takes care of that. So I'm going to be sharing my screen a lot. If I'm talking and you guys can't see what I'm talking about, please feel free to speak up because I'm a little rusty here. All right, so you should be able to see my nominee information slide. And I'm also going to see here. Okay. All right. So we're here today to talk about you being a nominee and what you can expect from this process, and then what's expected from you for being a nominee. So part of being a nominee is submitting a video that's going to get judged. So that's going to be part of the process. There also is going to be an actual event at the end of this that's going to happen on November 17th at the Cox Business Convention Center in the Grand Hall. So we'll talk about that event. We'll talk about best tips for creating your video, how they'll be judged, all that good stuff. And like I said, if there's something that I miss or you have a question about, please feel free to speak up. All right. So I mentioned that our event is going to end on November 17th. So all of the work that you're putting into your videos and everything, we will announce the winners the night of that event, Friday, November 17th. We do have a theme this year. Our theme is A Night Under the Stars. So you're going to see that theme throughout all of our marketing, and some people like to dress to the theme as well. So you're certainly welcome to do that. But our theme this year is A Night Under the Stars. All right, so the nominee videos, that's probably what you guys have most interest in learning more about. So why do you need to submit a nominee video? So the process for judging is that you create a video that tells why you're awesome, and then we send those off to judges that are from other affiliates across the country. We are part of the National Apartment Association network, and so there are associations across the country that are also part of that network. So we've done various types of judging throughout the years, and we really feel that the being able to send a video off to other associations that where their staff and then other people that work in the industry can judge those videos is the most fair way to judge the awards. We feel like it gives you an opportunity to have people evaluating you based off of knowledge that they have of the industry and understanding your job role better. So that's why we need you to submit a video. What should you include in your nominee video? So this is where I'm going to change what I'm sharing with you, because we're going to talk about the nominee guidelines. Okay, so can everyone see the website page okay here? Great. All right, so we're first going to land where you normally would if you go to our website, which is taaonline.org. And when you're here, an easy way to get to this information is to go under events, Zenith Awards, and then you'll see video guidelines right here. So right here is the nominee video guidelines, and we tell you that you're required to create a video following the guidelines below, and some other information. So for those of you that are on the property management side, your deadline to submit your video is going to be Friday, September 22nd. For our supplier nominees, they had a little bit later nomination deadline, so they get a little bit longer. So they have until Friday, October 6th if you're a supplier nominee. But for our property management folks, you have until September 22nd. So right here, we have these green buttons that will give you access to the video guidelines for the award that you've been nominated for. We call individual awards those that would be property supervisor, maintenance supervisor, manager, assistant manager. We detail that here. So if you have a question as to what your award is for, you can look at that there. So I'm just going to click the button here for the nominee guidelines for the individual awards. And here is going to show you a lot more information. You should have received this information in the letter that you got. And then we also emailed out this information. So hopefully you've got it one of those ways. But if you didn't, you can also find that on our website under events, Zenith Awards, video guidelines. So now we're going back to here. So we just mentioned the deadlines to submit your video is Friday, September 22nd. You're going to submit that video to us on YouTube, which the process for submitting that video is pretty simple. You just have to go to YouTube and either create an account or use an account that you already have existing, and then upload that information up to YouTube. We do want you to do that in a high quality, so definitely want to do that process. I know that it gives you some options there on the quality that you can upload, and that may shorten or lengthen the time it takes to upload your video, but uploading the video in a high quality is what we would ask you to do. If you have an issue with your video being public on YouTube, you can definitely put that as unlisted. So when you upload that video and put it as unlisted, then no one else can see that video except for those that have a link to it. So we need it that way, so when we share it with the judges, they'll be able to view the video using the link. So when you start your video and thinking about how you're going to do your video, here are some things that you want to keep in mind. You definitely want to introduce yourself during your video. So remember that the judges don't know you at all. So they need to know who you are, what your job title is, what your responsibilities are, because sometimes your responsibilities may change, even if or maybe different, even if your job title is similar to someone else. What apartment community or company you work for, how long you've worked in the industry, how long you've worked for that particular property, any other job titles you've had, have you worked your way up in the industry? Are you just coming in? Just letting them know a little bit more about you. You can even share some personal information about you personally if you would like. Just an opportunity so the judges get to know you. And then the next thing we want you to tell us is why you're awesome. So think about what sets you apart from the other nominees. It's important for you to remember that the judges are looking at you in comparison to the other nominees that are up for the same award. And you all are really great people because you're the top of your class with your companies. They've nominated the best of the best within their companies. So it's important to remember that you're going to have to figure out how you can stand out amongst the other nominees. So this is your opportunity to share why you're awesome. So you can definitely use people to help tell this story in your videos. We would recommend, your supervisors, your managers, your coworkers, residents, suppliers or vendors that you work with, anybody that you interact with professionally that you want to include in your video, you're definitely welcome to do that. And we would definitely recommend that. It helps support the things that you're saying about yourself in your video. Or for some people, they just don't like talking about themselves. They have a hard time bragging about themselves. And so if that's you, then you can use other people to help share why you're awesome. And then we also want to make sure that it's a good video. And by good video, we mean good quality. So sometimes we get videos where it's really blurry, it's hard to see because the resolution is low. It may be hard to hear the people on the video because they're outside and the wind's blowing really hard, or the microphone wasn't working really great. So the most important thing about your video is that the judges can hear what's being said and they can see clearly what's happening or what's being displayed on the video. So make sure that you take the time to test that out before you record, before you spend a lot of time recording something. Test your audio settings, test the video clarity, to make sure all of that is where you want it to be. So you don't get to the end of the process and think, oh my goodness, I just wasted all that time and now this isn't even going to work. Want to make sure that you present yourself in a professional manner, and remember that these awards are professional awards. So, you know, in your personal life, you may be a TikTok star and do really cool things on there. But for this is about the professional awards that are for the apartment industry. So think about that whenever you're creating your video. You can definitely show your personality and show, you know, that you have a sense of humor, but just remember to keep it classy during your nominee video. So your nominee video can be up to 10 minutes. We definitely recommend that you maximize that time. I think that we had some folks that were under the impression that shorter was better because in the marketing world, your videos, that is true because people's attention span is short. However, when it comes to your nominee video, the judges want to know the most they can find out about you. And so don't use that mentality that short is better because they're going to lose their attention. That's not true. They're going to watch it because they want to know more about you. So that being said, don't feel like you have to use the full 10 minutes. You're not going to get docked or deducted if you don't. But just realize that you need to make sure that you've answered all the questions that we're going to recommend that you answer, that you provided all the information, that you've provided all of the references or referrals that you need to in your video for the judge to truly get a good picture of who you are. If you have questions on how to create the video, we're happy to help you with that at our office. We are not, again, video gurus, but we do have some experience with it, so we can provide you or point you in the right direction. So every nominee guidelines, video guidelines is going to have a set of questions, and those questions are going to change based off of what the award is for. As we're looking at this one, this is for the individual awards. So these are going to be the questions that we recommend that you answer in your video. Again, we tell you that you're welcome to enlist the help of others in answering these questions during the video. Some people like to set it up as like an interview style. So they might have someone interviewing them during the video. Others do it more of like just a conversation that they're having. So however you're comfortable doing that, you can set up your video that way. But we definitely want you to, at the least, answer these questions. And we also want you to remember that you need to give more than just a one-sentence answer for these questions. Take time to elaborate on these, to provide examples when you can. These should not be short answers. These should be an opportunity that cues you to talk about this part of your work. So definitely take the time to expound upon those answers. If English is not your first language, you're welcome to speak in your native language or the language that you're most comfortable with. However, it's important for you to remember that our judges may not be able to understand you. So you're welcome to have an interpreter in your video, or if you want to use subtitles or some other way that you can translate what's being said, we definitely want you to do that so the judges can understand everything that you're trying to convey to them. All that to say, if making a video just is building a lot of anxiety for you, we want you to know that we are here to help. So you can schedule a time that you can come into the TAA office and we will schedule an interview with you, and that would be used for your nominee video. It is going to be very basic. It's going to be us just recording it in one take and asking you those questions. But it is an option for those of you that just have a lot of anxiety around producing a video. We can do that for you. So I'm going to stop right here for a moment and see if there's any questions. All right, I don't see any or hear any. So some tips for creating a great nominee video. It's good to start with a plan. So if you guys know anything about making movies, there's always a storyboard or some sort of script that people are going off of. So we would encourage you to start with the same process. Think about what you're going to say, write it down, give yourself cue cards, however it's going to help you. But definitely think about the plan and how you want your video to come together and what you want to be conveyed in your video. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes your coworkers, your friends, your family. I know for me, I would rely on my nieces and nephews to help me with my video. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And again, we're here for you if you need help or have questions on how to get started or what tools or resources are available for you. Here again, we talk about the script. So definitely think through how you're going to answer everything, and even write out how you're going to answer is helpful for some people. Also remember to take your videos in the landscape orientation. A lot of people can take videos on their phone now, so doing the video with your phone, just make sure it's horizontal instead of vertical. That way you can maximize the image on the screen. That is helpful. I mentioned wind noise earlier. So if you're going to be taking video outside, which is totally fine, but just be aware of wind and how that may be impacting the noise in your video, or the ability for the judge to hear people talking. It could be wind, it could be someone driving by really loud, could be something else, but there are really inexpensive microphone options that you can get on Amazon. And of course, we always love YouTube. And I've learned recently you can learn a lot on TikTok as well. But you can definitely get a microphone, very inexpensive one, but it will help with some of that wind quality or outside noise, and that audio quality of your video. Music is great in a video. It helps add some liveliness and show your personality. However, it's important as you're putting your video together to remember the most important part is the judges being able to hear you talk. So be very careful about having music play over when people are talking, because sometimes that can affect if they can be heard. Editing your videos, there's lots of different apps out there that allow you to do editing with your videos. We just wanted to share that this isn't a requirement. Your video is not being judged on how fancy it is or how much editing is done to it. It really is about the quality of the content of your video. So putting more effort into that is important. Again, the editing does allow you to show your personality and things like that. So definitely feel free to do that. We just want to make sure that you know that it's not a requirement and it's not going to impact the judge's decision on how good you do your job or what a great person you are. I will say that just to be careful of some of those apps that you can use, some of them are free. And then some of them, when they're free, they'll put a watermark over your video. So just to be aware of that when you're going in to start creating your video, know how that end video is going to look. So again, you don't get and do all that work to the end and then realize that you have to pay a large amount of money to get that watermark removed. We've had people before feel like they have to hire a professional videographer to help them with their video. That is absolutely not needed. You're welcome to do that. Or if you have a friend or a family member that has that skill, you're welcome to use that. But I will just share with you again that that doesn't impact whether you're going to win or not. It's about the content that you provide in your video. The nice thing about creating a video and being able to do a nominee video is that you can do as many takes as you need to. So as you're working on your video or as you're trying to convey how you want to answer one of those questions, if you don't get it right the first time, you obviously can try again, do over. And that's where the editing does come into play, that you're able to put pieces together that worked without having to try it to do it in one take. But if you're not comfortable with that editing part, sit down in front of your camera, i.e. phone, and do it in one take and just answer the questions. The judges are not expecting this to be perfect either. So even if you make a mistake while you're answering the question, you can say, oh, that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say this. And you could still do that in one take without having to edit it all up. I talked about keep it classy. Remember that these are professional videos. So with some of these video editing tools, you can do some really crazy things. Just don't go overboard with filters and enhancements that really take away from the judges being able to see you. And then finally, once you've completed your video, you want to watch it and make sure it works. Make sure that everything can be heard clearly, make sure that you can see everything clearly, and then make sure again that you're submitting that or uploading that video in a high resolution as you can. I know sometimes when you ask people to send you videos, like if you're asking someone to do a testimonial for you that you want to include, make sure that you tell them that as well. And I know sometimes those video files can be large, so you may need to think about, doing an airdrop situation or using a file sharing program or physically putting the video on a device that you could transfer that so that if you're trying to text it or email it, it doesn't decrease the quality of your video. All right, any more questions? Or not more, you haven't had any yet. Do you have any questions? Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back here to my other screen, back to my presentation. So that's why, or what you should include in your nominee video and why we submit videos. So just to highlight and recap what I just said, a recipe for a good video answers all the questions that were on those award guidelines for your specific award, and make sure you elaborate on those questions. Definitely need more than one sentence answers. Where you can, include statistics, reviews. I know a lot of you have review websites or there's reviews on your social medias for your communities. Anywhere where you can pull in statistics and reviews to help back up what you're saying is really great. Definitely, if you can include a recommendation or a reference from your manager, supervisor, or coworkers, again, just to reinforce the things that you're saying, that's great. If you can include comments from residents or customers, if you're on the supplier side of things, those are great things to include. Make sure everyone can be heard in your video. Use your full minute, 10 minutes, if you can, but don't go over the 10 minutes. If you go 10 minutes and 30 seconds, that's not going to be the end of the world. But the judges do know that you were given instructions not to exceed 10 minutes. And so they could potentially look at deducting points from you if you did go well over that 10 minutes. And then I think it's really important for you to convey in your video why you want to win the award. Why is this important to you? Do you want to win the award? Hopefully you all do. But that is, in judging for other associations, that's something that one of the things that helps people stand apart is just knowing their desire to win and, helping to convey to them why you should win. I like to tell people to think of your nominee video as a job interview and how you put your best self forward, and the things that as an employer would be looking in you are going to be the same things that the judges are going to be looking at in your nominee video. So definitely another great piece of advice is to begin working on your nominee videos now. They're not due until September 22nd, but if you're going to include video testimonials from your residents, customers, supervisors, coworkers, owners, you definitely want to start the process now, because give them ample time to get their videos back to you. Starting on the process earlier won't hurt. And even just working on it in little pieces as you can will definitely help you and avoid a situation where you're trying and staying up all night trying to get your video in by the deadline. Again, making sure the video clips that you receive for your testimonials are in high quality. So sharing that with them, that of how they need to get that video back to you is important. So how do you submit your video? I mentioned that we do that on YouTube. And again, if you don't want your video visible to the public, you can publish it as unlisted. If you need help working through this part of it, we do have a tutorial from last year that you can access that walks you through the process of uploading this video to YouTube. So we definitely can share that with you. So who are the Zenith Awards judges? So I mentioned that before. Oops, go back. Yes, where'd it go? Do this. There we go. I mentioned that to you before, but I just want to reiterate that again, that the judges are from our industry. They work in our industry, and they come from across the country. So we do that, one, so they understand your industry and can accurately evaluate you and how you do your job, but then also that reduces the amount of biasness that could come into the judging process. When we did this before and had local judges, it was really hard to navigate any potential biases that might be there. So this is another way to help ensure that that is the case. So real quick, I also want to share that in your nominee videos, we talked about statistics and reviews and things like that, but anything that you can provide that helps back up that story that you're telling about yourself is really great to include. So just remember, even outside of those questions that we give you, things that you can provide in your video, or people that you can provide in your video to help illustrate why you are the awesome person that you are, is what you should include. All right, so part of the nominee process is getting a headshot, and we will use these pictures of you as you're being recognized at the Zenith Awards during the actual event. So a lot of you have asked before we get from nominees the question of what should I wear for my nominee headshot? So my answer to that is whatever you would like to wear is totally fine. We have people that come in their business professional dress. Sometimes you have a uniform that you wear for work, and that's fine to wear. If you want to come in your normal street clothes, that's fine too. This is going to be a picture that you will have access to that we'll share with you. So we've seen people use this on their company websites, or we've seen them use it on their social media pages. So it is going to be a picture that you're going to get access to. So whatever you would like to wear is fine with us. We also ask for the service teams that they submit a picture to us, because I know it can be challenging to get everyone to come in for a picture for the nominee headshot. So on that front, you can pose your service team however you would like. These are a couple of great examples of getting a service team picture, so just wanted to share those with you. We do ask no selfies. We want this to be a professional award, and we want to be able to have a great headshot of you. So I either I take the pictures, or this year Sharice may help me take the pictures, but you'll come into the TAA office and we'll take the picture for you. We'll give you an opportunity to make sure that you like the picture that we've taken. We don't want it to be like the DMV where you come and you just get a surprise. This is the picture that you get. But the selfie is not appropriate for the award, so please do not send us a selfie picture. So I'm going to just change my screen real quick while we're talking about the headshots. I'm going to go back to the website. So you should now see the website again. This page, you guys all got a link to this page in the email that you received. If you don't have that for some reason, I'll tell you the web address. It's taaonline.org and then / Zenith Awards - nominees. So this is a page that you guys want to bookmark, that you can come back to. We're going to continuously update this as we go along. This is going to have information, like I'll put the recording of this video on here. It's a reminder of the deadline for your nominee videos. Here is where you can schedule to have the interview recorded by us. So you just click on this, and that's going to take you to a page where you can schedule to have your nominee video interview. Obviously, we have today, so that's probably short notice for many of you. We have the 12th as another date option. If you are wanting to do this video and the 12th doesn't work for you, please reach out to me, Nicole, or Sharice, and we'll find another day that does work for you. We're just doing this based off of the desire of people to have us help them with their video. So if we need to add some additional dates, we certainly can. But definitely reach out to us before the 22nd, before your video is due, because our availability may not be able to work with your schedule. So if you know you're going to want our help with your video and record it for you, please reach out to us as soon as possible to get that scheduled. So going back to our page here. So right there, that's where you would schedule the nominee interview, the nominee pictures, which is your headshot. You can click here to schedule that, and it's a similar looking page. Our dates don't start until October for that, but I would encourage you guys to go ahead and get that on the schedule. It's pretty simple to do. These dates that are in blue with the circle are the dates that are available. If you click on the date, it's going to show you the times that are available. So you would just click on a time that you wanted to schedule and click next, and then enter your information. If you put a mobile phone here, that will send you a text message reminder of the time that you're scheduled. So just a convenience for you. That's not required, but if you wanted to do that, you could. So this is how you schedule to take your nominee picture, or headshot as we call it. And as I said, we will need this for everyone. And so we need you to schedule that time to come in to take your picture, and then go ahead and schedule it as soon as you can so that you get that time and date that works best for you. Okay, nominee recognition. Let's go back to this. So we've got some cool stuff for you guys this year. I mentioned that as a nominee, that is something that you should be very proud of. If you think about the Oscars and the Academy Awards, they definitely promote when they've been nominated for those awards. They may not ultimately be the winner, but just being nominated is an honor. And that's the same for our awards as well. Being nominated is an honor, and you guys should be very proud of that. So, at that website that I just took you to, we've got some things there for you. One of them is GIFs or GIFs. If you guys want to give me feedback on what that's supposed to be called, I will welcome that. But we're going to call it GIFs for today. So GIFs for social media. These are some really great things that Charisse helped put together. That it's an animated file that comes that you can share on your social media that you've been nominated for a Zenith Award. And then we also have an email signature graphic, which I'm going to show to you. So we'll go back to our website here, show you how you find those. So it's on that same page, which you should see our website now, where it was the Zenith Awards nominee info. And if you scroll down, we have the nominee email signature graphic. So you just click on this graphic, and then once it opens into a new window, you right click on it and say save image as. You can save it anywhere on your computer, just wherever you want to save it, and then you can save it, and then you can insert that into your email. If you need help figuring that out, we definitely can help you with that. But I think a lot of you now use graphics and things in your email signature, so you probably can figure that part out. But that's a graphic that you're welcome to put in your email signature as a Zenith Awards nominee. And then the social media graphics I mentioned are right here. So these, I know some of you use social media on your phone. So we put two different ways of how to download this, but similar to how I just showed the other one. You want to find the award that you've been nominated for. So these are all different based off of the award. So we have Housekeeping Professional of the Year, Assistant Manager of the Year, Leasing Professional of the Year. So find the award that you've been nominated for. And we'll just do this one right here. Same idea, but as you see, this is a GIF, so it's got some animation to it to make it a little bit more fun. Same thing, you right click, save as, and save it somewhere to your computer, and then you can use that on your social media. So definitely take advantage of those. Oops, I just closed that whole thing out. Those are definitely things that you can use, and we definitely recommend that you use to help share that you've been nominated, and be proud. All right, we should be back on my nominee experience slide at the Zenith Awards. So before I move forward, any questions? Okay. All right, so your nominee experience at the Zenith Awards. I mentioned that the event is on November 17th at the Cox Business Convention Center. Sometimes we get asked if you need a ticket for the Zenith Awards event. So our answer is it depends. Most of the time as a nominee, your company is going to provide you with a ticket to the event. Your company typically purchases tables through us, and tables come with 10 tickets. They can add more if they need to, but that is how you would attend the event. Every company has a different policy on if they will allow you to bring a guest or not bring a guest. Do you have to pay for the ticket for your guest or not? So I would start that conversation with your company if you are not sure how they're going to handle this, so that you know how to prepare for the event. But everyone that does attend the Zenith Awards does need a ticket. And what if you have dietary restrictions? So at the event, there'll be a cocktail reception that starts the event from 6 to 7, and then we let everyone into the main area for dinner at 7. And it's a plated dinner. It's typically a chicken dish dinner. But if you have dietary restrictions that you want to make sure that we're aware of, you can definitely submit those to us. In fact, I put Charisse's email on here for you. So this is Sharice's email address. You can email Sharice and we'll keep track of those of you that have dietary restrictions that we need to keep in mind. And the chef will prepare something that fits within your dietary restrictions. At the actual event, you'll want to make sure that you give them your name and that you requested a special dish because of your dietary restrictions. And then the person that's serving your table will bring that to you. So a couple of steps there, but definitely we can accommodate you if you have some dietary restrictions. We also get asked what you should wear to the Zenith Awards event. So this is a formal event. However, dress to your comfort level. If you're not comfortable wearing formal attire, that's totally fine. And I mentioned it as a professional event, but many of our members take this as an opportunity to dress up and have a fun night out and while being dressed up. So these are just some examples. I Googled, I think, Night Under the Stars, which is our theme, attire. So you could do the same just to give yourself some inspiration. But in general, the colors for our event are going to be navy, silver, white, black, anything kind of star as you think of that star theme. So a lot of people like to dress to the theme. Again, that's totally up to you on how you want to do that. But this is how we answer that question of what you should wear to the event. For guys, I do like to mention that a tuxedo is really not necessary. Most guys typically wear a suit or a sport coat, or even a vest, just something to dress up there, but a tux rental is not necessary. However, if you have a tux or if you want to rent a tux, you definitely can. No one is going to think differently of you for doing that. Just wanted to let you know that typically the men are in a suit or a sport jacket. I also wanted to mention that we have secured a discounted room rate for the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel, Tulsa downtown. It's very convenient because it's right across the street from the Cox Business Center. And the rate that we got is $169 a night. And I know that is still a lot of money, but it is a discounted rate, I can assure you that. And that weekend is a busy weekend for downtown. And so they're going to have limited availability downtown as well. So if you're interested in doing this, I would definitely recommend that you book your hotel room. There is a link on that nominee webpage that I showed you before, which I'll go back to at the end and show you again, that you can get the link to book the hotel room. But I wanted to let you guys know we have that option. There are a limited number of available rooms in our room block. So if you want a hotel room, I would encourage you to book early. If you go and it says there's no more rooms available, please reach out to us, me, Sharice, Nicole. We can reach out to the hotel to see if there's any availability to add additional rooms to our hotel room block. I can't guarantee that, but I'm definitely willing to ask for you. We also have complimentary valet parking at this event. So I know sometimes when we say we're going to have an event downtown, that can produce some anxiety for people and when we talk about parking. So there is complimentary valet parking. When you pull up for the event, you're going to see that right in front of you. If you're not comfortable with valet parking, there is a parking garage that's pretty close that they do charge to park in the parking garage. So just to let you know that, but I know some people are not comfortable with valet parking, so that's an option as well. And when you arrive at the Zenith Awards, you can expect to get a nominee gift. Typically, we give you a nominee glass that is something that you can walk around with that evening and put your drink in it, and it displays that you're a nominee that evening. So that's typically what we do. I assume that we'll probably do the same thing this year. So when you arrive, just make sure that you check in and pick up your gift whenever you arrive. So we also have a complimentary coat check. I know right now we can't think about wearing coats, but the weather changes in November for sure. And sometimes it's, nice, and sometimes it's cold. Last year, if you went to the Zenith Awards, it was really cold. So just to let you know that we do have a complimentary coat check. When you arrive, you can turn your coat in and they'll hold it for you until the end of the evening. All right. That's the end of my presentation. Like I said, I'm going to go back over to website and show you again. This is a page that you want to bookmark and refer back to if you ever need more information or need a refresher on anything that I've just stated. I will put the recording up here so you guys can have access to it. This is where you can schedule to come have your interview done in our office if you want to go that route. Otherwise, you just need to submit your video by September 22nd to us. You'll schedule to have your picture taken, which every nominee needs to have their picture taken. So you'll schedule a time to do that. And the pictures are taken here at our office. So should be pretty easy to get to. And it's a pretty quick process. Other thing on the pictures, I know some of you have been nominated with your coworkers or other people that you work with. So if you want to come in together, that's totally fine. Just when you schedule a time to have your picture taken, just do it back to back on our schedule. And you all can come in at the exact same time and we'll just do them all together then. We have the discounted hotel rooms right here. So right here is where you click to book your hotel room and it takes you to a landing page that they obviously ran out of space, but Tulsa Apartment SO. You can click on one of these options and this is how you get that special price. So there's an option to book a room with a king or 2 doubles. And that's how you do that. All right, is there, gonna ask the question again. Are there any questions? Nicole or Charisse, is there anything else that I need to cover?
I don't think so. I think you covered everything that I can think of.
I agree.
Okay. Well, congratulations again on being nominated. Oh, I see there's something in the chat. Let me just take a look at this. Oh, thank you. You're very welcome. Congratulations on being nominated. I hope that you guys really understand how significant this is and what a great accomplishment this is. Please take advantage of sharing with everyone else that you've been nominated by using our social media graphics and our email signature graphics. And reach out to us if you have any questions or need any help along the way. We're here for you. All right, we'll see you guys soon.